Thanks for making the time to hear about PernixData today. My name is Satyam Vaghani, and today I'm going to tell you about PernixData. I'm going to start by talking about who PernixData is as a company, and then about the product that we just created over the last 1 year, a little more than a year, and then give you a demo. It seems that it's unique enough that people tend to get disoriented. So, once we do the demo, then maybe it's a good way to segue into the technology deep dive. There's a bunch of topics I thought were interesting in terms of the technology deep dive, but feel free to, ask questions as we go along. And so who we are as a company, we got started last year, approximately 14 months ago, February 2012. We are headquartered in San Jose, and it was just two guys on a PowerPoint. My co-founder is Pujan Kumar. We met at Stanford. We went to grad school together. That's how we know each other. And after grad school, he went to Oracle, which, on any given Sunday might not be a good choice, but for him turned out to be great because he ended up creating Exadata out there. And so that's how he earned his stripes. And then he eventually moved to VMware, where he was leading the vFabric Data Director initiative just before he took off for PernixData. Me, on the other hand, my history is much simpler. I went to VMware right out of grad school and stayed there for 10 years. It was a great ride. We got started doing ESX 1.0, the first server-based hypervisor. And then I got into storage. I was a networking guy, and I thought SANs is a form of networking. I was obviously young and restless at that time. I was. And so, but it had the word networks in it, so I figured, that it ought to be something related to networking. I was mistaken, but I don't regret it a tiny bit at this point. So anyway, I got to do storage for VMware, and I think I'm most known for creating VMFS. But then, once we created that, we figured we were sitting on a gold mine, so we created a whole bunch of data services around it, a whole bunch of value-added stuff in software for virtual machines. And, towards the end, I did VAI, which was a way to actually communicate to storage systems at a meta level so that they can actually do virtual machines. They can understand what virtual machines are trying to do and do it by themselves in a much more efficient manner. We got very lucky with the hiring. We have people from VMware, some of my colleagues, a person, for example, who led VMFS 5 most recently, two folks who were among the first 4 folks who did ESXi, the embedded hypervisor, another person who was among the first few folks doing vFabric Data Director, VMware's database offering, and so on and so forth. Got people from Google doing our UIs and so on. It's been a lot of fun. We raised Series A back in February 2012, and very recently we raised Series B. We did Series A round, when we had this idea done, and we did it with Lightspeed. We are not talking quite openly about our Series B investor, but give us a few more weeks. We have on our board Mark Leslie. We love that person because he was on VMware's board. He saw that company grow from a startup to being acquired by EMC. He's done his own great storage software company in the past, which is exactly what we are out to do. So the guidance definitely helps. We have John Thompson on our advisory board. He's recently doing virtual instruments, but before that, he did a great software company, Symantec. And then we have Lane, who's recently come out of Palo Alto Networks, which had a great IPO. And then Paul Salaberry, who used to run all of operations at Veritas back in the glory days. We've been working very hard. It's been a year, more than a year. I believe, I wouldn't be mistaken if I say that we are probably one of the fastest companies to come out into the market with an enterprise product. And it's a non-trivial product. We'll talk about that. But we did it in 14 months. We did our first offering, an alpha release, so to speak, back in October 2012. And so it's been slightly more than 6 months now. And now we are in beta. We have approximately north of 50 customers in the US, many more in the world. The background of the slide is where our customers, our beta users and partners come from. Partly that's the power of software. You can go really broad really quickly, but it's partly also because of what PernixData does and how relevant it is in virtualized data centers today. So our mission as a company is to bring scale-out storage to everyone. And in doing so, we hope to change the very design of virtualized data centers. We hope to decouple the storage capacity problem from the storage performance problem. And we want to focus on the storage performance problem in a way that is the easiest to use and that is the most non-disruptive with respect to everything else that you have going on in your data center, or how you design your capacity, or how you design virtualization, how you design servers, and so on.